is we needed to do. So that really just tells us that we can work together and for a higher purpose. And we're all kind of coming into that. So a lot of this is awakening within us, or some people call Mother God. So the divine feminine is just really waking up within us.
Beautiful. Thank you, Rebecca.
And with the new moon yesterday on top of the Lion's Gate, that really almost supercharges our manifestations. So normally a lot of people like to set intentions for themselves for the month on a new moon. With this Lion's Gate portal, it's really amping that up. So set really high expectations. It's amazing to see what we can accomplish.
Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with the meaning of Lionsgate. 8, I love 8. That's my favorite number.
I actually have a Lemurian crystal. And it's so funny because I brought this one because sometimes, let me see if I can get it. Can you see where I'll put 8 right at the tip? Right above here is the 8.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see it. Yes.
So I like this. I brought it with me.
Sorry, guys, I'm late. Ran into an unexpected security issue. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Oh, you
Can
were
everybody
fine.
hear me? Hi. Great. So I'm over here actually at the highest sky deck in the Western Hemisphere. Yeah, it's called Edge NYC. So it took me a while to get in through security because, you know, the case is going up now. So yeah, but I want to show you guys the wonderful city of New York. If you guys can see it.
Oh, how stunning.
Isn't that beautiful? Look at
Very.
it is truly the highest location in New York City where you're basically not in New York. You're nowhere. You're literally in the atmosphere. And it's amazing. Yeah, so I felt that, you know, Lionsgate should be celebrated somewhere high up for this year. Yeah, and it's very foggy today, so it's like amazing because you can literally feel the mist. It's so beautiful. It's majestic. Yes.
But even with the fog, you can still see all the lights down there.
That's
So
right.
that's beautiful.
That's right. That's right. And you look very majestic, Rebecca. Wow, look at that. Beautiful. Yeah.
It's bringing in that divine feminine.
Beautiful.
It's blasted out there.
I have the Lemurian seed crystal on me also. So I was like, yeah, you know what?
Just showing them that there's so this has a diamond in it, and it looks like a mountain with a diamond. And then if you turn it around, there's rainbows that will almost look like the galaxy, but it will turn into like a 3, or depending on how you're looking at it, will be an 8 right at the tip of the mountain. So I figured it was perfect for this occasion for our 8/8 Lion's Gate.
That's beautiful, Rebecca. So tell us, how did you even get into something like that? How did you learn about the Lemurian sea crystal? How did you?
Well, I was explaining a little bit before everything started, was last year, oddly enough, I was sitting on my back porch, and it was during the daytime. It was July 1st. It was when all our outer planets lined up. I was seeing these lights in the sky. I thought it was weird because I thought they were like satellites. I called my brother, of course, and I'm like, hey, are you seeing this? And basically the next day I kept on seeing a lot of sign symbols, synchronies, which then basically led me to this crystal, which I've never heard of in my life. And it's been a domino effect since. So I started learning a lot about the Lemurians. a lot of our star families who really come and help us in this time. And now I went ahead and I got the Lamarian Star Child Oracle. This is a beautiful deck, by the way, if you use cards or not. But this was a gift from my husband. And let's see, I actually got another one, which would probably be beautiful. This is the Scarlet Temple Lamarian. And they say that Lamarian crystals were to appear during the end times. So that way we would be able to connect with them and know what to do to raise our frequency during this ascension. Lamarians carry their own frequency, and they carry the highest frequency out of all of the quartz, which can shine through pure love. The highest frequency is unconditional love. So it's really nice. I mean, once you touch a Lamarian, it's very hard to put it down. Because they do just have a fantastic feeling to them. I enjoy connecting, but it also helps cleanse your auras if you guys are into chakra healing, Reiki healing, anything. If you use crystals for healing, which I do. I'm also a rainbow crystal child, so I'm very connected to minerals and earth. So that really helps too. And I just basically love to educate, because I know that we have a lot of children that are being born awoke in this time who are going to most definitely need guidance in knowing how to understand their gifts. When I was younger, I was born awake and not a lot of people understood me or could explain things to me. And I can only imagine where I'd be at in my own abilities if I had that support. And I know that a lot of our children are going to have, I love seeing so many people waking up, because our children they are our future. And our future is basically coming to a point in which we do have peace and love and prosperity for everybody. And if we start teaching these things and having our kids tap into their natural light bodies, I guess is how you say it, they are going to literally be moving mountains for us.
That's very beautifully said, Rebecca. Thank you so much for that. And just to compliment what you were showing, I have the mini version.
Love it. Hey, some of those smaller Lamarians carry a lot of codes in them. A lot of codes.
Yes. And you could actually put them, I noticed I was having a headache and I could put them like in the back, could put them here. They help you to activate your pineal. They help you to activate the pituitary. They're amazing in your clavicle, because when they put in the clavicle, and I actually got that as a message from Isis, the whole nervous system calms down. You're actually beating, you're feeling the vibration with earth. It's amazing. It really is. And I just had this for about a week. So this is a brand new baby that I'm going to nurture.
I love them. And when I'm doing any like light body healing, like at nighttime, I most definitely will ask my angels, master teachers, because as we sleep, we heal, and we can also go into these I guess they're light chamber healing chambers, and you can actually ask them to place Lamarians or I have like labradorite. So basically, depending on what it is your physical body needs to attune or to heal, they can actually place these in your chakras until you're fully like healed. And so they'll do that in your light body form. It's interesting, most definitely. But it almost like enhances the healing process. If you ask, like set the intention before going to bed, ask your archangels, your master teachers, I would like to go into a healing chamber, place what crystals you need in my chakras until that, just to kind of speed it up, but in a smooth way. Otherwise, you'll experience some I call whiplash, spiritual whiplash.
That or come home with guests.
Exhausted.
And then also, I was going to show this selenite stick. The selenite is almost like a charging station. So the Lemurian sea crystal, I noticed that it activates it and it magnifies the energy of the next morning. It's incredible. It's incredible. I know the Herkimer diamond does the same, but this like cleanses everything. So I've learned this week something new. So to have the selenite, see, to have the Lemurian, that's right. To have the Lemurian crystal together like that in like, let's say your pocket, serves as a really great thing. And then like you have ultimate protection, but you also have a clearing as well. And also the fluorite, I just got this. Oh, this is actually a fluorite from England. This is so beautiful. It's incredible. It cleanses. Beautiful, right? It's so tiny, fits into your pocket. You can literally sew it into your clothes. I started to sew things into my clothing and just you wear it. I think we should, consider at some point like vibrational clothing with like literally crystals sewn in like we used to do in Atlantis and Lemuria.
I've actually seen, so if you actually connect to the oversouls in the crystals, a lot of those guides actually have them sewn into their robes. Like, so if it's a labradorite, they'll have little shards of it. And it's almost the sound of it this is meditating, but you can connect to the oversoul or the consciousness within the quartz. And they do, at least when I see them visually, because I have the psychic seeing, or I'll see auras or anything, or I'll hear certain things, but it's almost like the wind chime. And you can hear it in their clothes. So that's funny you say that.
Perhaps someday, Rebecca, we should think of a project called vibrational clothing with the sewing crystals. That would be great sometime, definitely.
We need to start a clothing line.
We should. That and like vibrational masks. That would be great too.
Yes.
Okay, Rebecca, is there anything else that you would like to add to our audience with this magnificent presentation that you've given us? And thank you so much for keeping it while I was late. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. I look forward to doing more with you. I know that we're going to be setting up some more shows in the future, and I hope you guys learn a lot. And I really find the love and peace. If you need to relax for the next few days, drink plenty of water, go on a nature walk, because we do have a lot of energy coming in from this Lion's Gate. And I wish you guys all the love that you need during your journey. You have so many watching over you, and so proud of you. So proud.
Thank you, Rebecca. Perhaps you could lead us into a Lion's Gate meditation or ceremony at the end and do a global prayer as well. That would be fantastic. That would be wonderful.
I can bring in some light language if that helps.
You can even do that now. That would be wonderful, because I was looking forward to that light language I know you had stored in there for the show. So it's beautiful.
Yes, I did a the TikTok for Mother God's Lullaby earlier today, since I got all my dressings up. But yeah, so I like to do some light language to really just bring in that divine feminine, to really just fill in our heart space, because that's where we're at right now, and that's where we're going to. So you guys just want to close your eyes and take some really deep breaths into your heart space, really ground into the new earth, because that's where we're at now. And just know that Mother God and Father God is above, as below, as within, as without. I'm seeing a lot of water, and it's crystalline water, and it's flowing in so many rainbow colors, and every rainbow color has a different frequency, which brings in different activations, is what Sophia's telling me. So I'm trying to translate as the light language comes out, and just know it's not what you hear, it's the frequency in which hits your chakras. All you have to do is ask your higher self to give what you need for your highest good. You don't have to receive anything that you are not comfortable with receiving, and your higher self will never give you anything you don't need. But I'm seeing water because they want to cleanse and clear the auras in and out, so you can receive this super powerful lion's gate that is literally just pushing us straight into the future. She's sending so much love, and to know that you're safe to just be you. A lot of us have been going through a lot of, I guess, turbulence. And to know that things happen for us, not to us. And everything is really going to start smoothing out, and just smile. Because right now, if you think of the lion is strength, it's courage, it's to sit back and to look at all the things that we've overcome, even though in those moments, maybe we felt like we would never overcome them. Or we maybe even felt at our lowest. And Mother God is just saying, you're here now, you're still here, and you're still loved. And so just always know that that is strength, and it's courage. And we are all so powerful. We just open up to it.
Thank you so much. God bless you. This has been amazing. I love it. Thank you so much. I will add to your light language and we'll do it together at the end. That is so beautiful. Thank you. And you know what? We're right here at the highest deck, so we're right on top of water. So
That's funny. Yeah, I didn't know that. I've never been to New York, but I've been to Michigan.
But we are literally on top of the Hudson River. And actually it's a mix between the Hudson and the East River. So we're literally right now on top, in that atmosphere, on top of two bodies of water at this current time.
Water is just
Can't
so
be any better than
caring.
that.
And it does. Earlier, I was actually thinking about dolphins and the mermaids. Like, they literally swim in the universe and splash with the stars, and they're playful. And we need to kind of get back to that mindset of not being so serious all the time, that just because we're older, we can still have fun. I mean, we should have fun and sing and play and dance and just be in the moment, and not worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow or what happened yesterday. Yesterday is gone. It's done. We've learned from it. We've grown. We stepped into our power, our strength. And just water is great. I use, when I'm showering, I use the golden light to cleanse my energy. Some people take Epsom salt baths, putting your feet in a river. I mean, all of that is amazing healing. So it's really nice that obviously Sophia knows you're at a river. That's good.
I also started doing earthing. I'm sure you're doing that as well. So earthing is really, really good. And you know what? As you're doing that, like, the light in your aura is shining so brightly because you could actually see it through the camera. So it's really amazing. It really is. Frankincense is something that I've also discovered doing for my feet. So frankincense baths are really great.
Yes, I like the rose petal ones. And then there's this place at the mall that they do all natural bath bombs. Like, so it's like the rose petals and the lavenders and anything like that. And this goes for men too. It's not just men have the divine feminine energy as well as so do women. Women have the divine masculine. We're just bringing it back into balance. It's not saying one's better than the other. We need each other in an equal state. Men are our structure. They're they're protective, but they need a woman to smooth out the edges sometimes. And so it's just, we have to come back into community. And so, hey, if you're a guy, go get your feet done, go sit in a hot tub or something, you know, you can do that. When you're fishing, you know, just think you're cleansing away everything you don't need anymore. So there's plenty of ways to add water into your spiritual practice.
And I think, Rebecca, just to add to that, there's nothing more cleansing than water.
Mhm.
We are 70% water. And you know what? We need that to be able to cleanse our bodies and our souls. Really, we are part divine, part human, and we can enjoy it. Even if we're busy and it's chaotic out there, we can still enjoy ourselves and still, like you said, live in the moment. That was amazing words. Thank you so much for that, Rebecca.
Yes, thank you for
Really.
having me. I look
It's a
forward to
blessing.
having some more videos with you. I know that we got a lot coming through. So this will be
Fantastic.
actually my first podcast or YouTube, because I'm normally on my Facebook page, but slowly getting out there. I just got the TikTok thing last week, so I'm still figuring that out. Very super connected to spirit, not so connected to the technical internet. Still learning that one.
Listen, that comes with the territory. Neither of us are. We're still learning how to do this. I mean, I had to, track through like, I don't know how many flights of elevator right now and signal. And that was my biggest problem aside from security, and everything else was the signal part.
Yes. I mean,
Yes.
It's amazing. I was born awake and I still learn from other people. I still do. I'm learning all the time. And it's almost literally like layers. One day I might be aware of something, and then next thing you know, I have a new gift popping in that I was completely unaware of. And so I'm trying to figure that out. I want to say last year I started actually physically seeing people's auras. So before then I would see spirit, but it would be like from the corner of your eye. So mediumship, I guess. And channeling, sometimes I wasn't even realizing I was channeling. So it just come through. So then I had to learn about boundaries. And so I've been working on the boundaries, like saying, no, this is my time. You don't get to just come in and channel messages just because you feel like it. Like there's a time and a place. And so and now I like to know, what am I channeling? Who am I channeling? So it's always learning something.
It's something very important. And even the Lionsgate, what you just said, comes through with that for all of us on the call right now. It is important to set boundaries. I'm learning that as well, because we are, as we said, part human, part divine, but we are truly a vessel for the energies that we channel. But, we do need to set boundaries of when it is our time to take a shower, to do the basic human things,
Right.
and not, we have to balance. And I think the Lionsgate is helping us do that
Yes.
Balancing act of not only being the divine feminine, the divine masculine, but also learning how to be the divine and human all together. And
Right.
then that's where a lot of us struggle. We
Because
do
we
struggle
did
at times.
come
It's a
here to
challenge.
have our own experiences. We did come here to have fun. Like Jesus, when I channel Jesus, he'll tell me, he says, we had fun. Like it wasn't all just business all the time. Like he said, I sat down, I broke bread with my family. Like we had fun. We would drink wine. We wouldn't get stupid, but I mean, like we still had fun. He says, I went swimming in the river. Like we did things, we danced and we had bonfires. And so it was just a different perspective from what I grew up learning, because when you do read the Bible, it's always Jesus was teaching and teaching. From the time he was 5, he was at a church teaching and preaching and preaching. And like, he's like, no, I had fun. Because yes, I was divine, but I was still here to experience a human life. And I did have fun. He met amazing people, learned a lot. And so I do get to sit and have these conversations sometimes when I'm sitting here by myself. I do ask the most weirdest questions. So, but I guess that's nice too.
One last question. I guess Sophia is chiming in. Thank you, Blessed Mother. And she's saying, do you have a message for humanity at this time, Rebecca? Because since you were about 3 years old, you know, you wanted to put out a message. So there's that little message you want to just chime in for humanity at this time. It's quite needed. Quite needed.
Yes. We are moving into a place where we are building a new earth. And you have to see this you have to know this within your heart that this will come to pass. Our children are going to, I mean, who doesn't want to surpass their parents? And all we really need right now, and I know that with the last year of everything going on with the virus, a lot of people have been stressed and fearful, and they question, do I or don't I do certain things? Like, just know that in every moment you are going to make the best choice for you, and that you have to know that this is all for a divine purpose. We are all ascending to somewhere way better, and it's beyond what our human mind can perceive right now. I literally see it's really even hard for me to explain in words the visuals that I get, because even then I almost perceive colors that our human eyes can't even see. And the amount of love you guys will feel is something that humans have never felt before. And just keep that vision, because as a collective, when we are doing this, we are manifesting it so much faster than if one person was trying to manifest this. And when we, as all around the world, are saying, hey, we want something better for everybody. We want peace for everybody. We want love for everybody. We want acceptance for everybody, no matter what I think or feel. I'm worthy of love. I came here for a purpose, and it is to be loved and to give love. And so, keep that intention in mind, that everything is going to turn out okay. You're safe to be you. You are perfect the way you are. God made you the way you are for a reason. And there's most definitely always something very special and unique about each and every soul.
You know, Rebecca, that's probably the most instrumental, the most truthful speech I've ever heard in my life. Thank you. This is a pivotal message, and I hope that we air it and broadcast it out to every direction on this planet, because it's something that every child should hear, every age category, honestly, at this time in a space where we are going into, again, the fourth, the fifth wave, and all these different variants, and people are going back into start checking into that fear zone. In numerology, I call it, right, and I call it the 4289 zone, where we have been coming out of fear. And you know something, this message, I hope that, I don't hope, I know it will, and I pray that it will, and let it be so, that it penetrates deep into the core of Gaia and into every person that is called to hear that message. So thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Okay, Rebecca, we're going to be following in. Is Jen Soto there? Jen Soto is going to follow us. Jen Soto.
Hello,
Scott.
I'm here.
Hi, Rebecca. Thank you again so much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I made you the host, Mariana.
Okay.
I just want to.
Great.
I'm going
Thanks,
to.
Scott.
Great to see everyone. I'm going to chime out. I'm in a different time zone, so I have to get up for work anyway. So anyway, have a blessed
Sorry.
Lionsgate. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, okay. Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Okay. Hi, Jen.
Do you want me to go ahead and jump off here and just watch, or?
No, I watch, and then we'll do a light language at the end. We'll
Okay,
definitely do a
I'll
light
stick with
language
you
at the end.
guys and we'll do light language at the end.
Wonderful. Can't wait. Can't wait. Jen, hi.
Hi. Nice to
Jen,
see you.
nice to see you too. I'm so sorry I'm late. You know, I'm over
No
here at this
worries.
amazing place here. Never done this before, so this is something brand new to me.
So the sun has set already?
The sun was setting, but there is so much fog and rain that we never
Okay.
got to actually see the sunset. So it's somewhere beyond. Actually, the sunset was scheduled for 8:07. So we got here. But Jen is actually broadcasting with us from Guatemala. So we're all
Yes.
coming in from all different time zones. It's really amazing. And she has a beautiful body of water right next to her. Tell us about that, Jen, before you even begin.
Yeah, well, I live by Lake Atitlan, that is actually known as a vortex. So yeah, there's a lot of energy here, and as I say, everyone that comes, it's very interesting how the lake calls people from all over the world. And some people say, like, I don't know why it appears in dreams or messages, and everyone that comes here, they have to do their work even if they're conscious of it or not. So it activates a lot of things in all the people that come here.
That's incredible. And Jen, tell us about your lineage and tell us about what you're going to be letting us know in regards to the Mayan calendar. I'm so excited. This is so amazing.
Okay, so first of all, I just want to say that English is my second language, so please forgive me if I make mistakes while I speak. And well, I was initiated as an ak'ich is called in the Mayan language, meaning a spiritual teacher holding ancient Mayan wisdom, or in the US, it's known as day keepers. So today, well, I wanted to share a little bit. I don't know if I just start or.
You can absolutely start. You can
Okay,
absolutely start.
perfect. Thank you very much. So, well, thank you very much for inviting me also, and and I'm happy to share. So, I wanted to start like a little introduction. If there's people here that haven't heard about Mayan calendars or Mayan cosmovision, so I wanted to do a little intro so you can understand better what I'm going to share. And in the Mayan cosmology, well, the ancient Mayan worked with different calendars. They had a calendaric system. So each calendar talk about different things. Like, for example, there were calendars that talk or that measured cycles of planets around the sun, like the Earth, Mars, Venus, etc. There is a calendar that talks about the agriculture cycle. There's a calendar that talks about measures of, we have one that is called the long count that measures big cycles of around 50 to 100 years each. So you can, to measure like everything that happened in the story of the cosmos. There's a prophetic calendar. There are other calendars that we don't even know what they're about because they're so sacred that have been held and guarded for so long. And we have this calendar that we work a lot that is called the Cholquij, as we call it here in Guatemala, or Tzolkin in Mexico, that specifically talks about the connection between the human being and the entire cosmos. So all these calendars, they're interconnected like gears, you know, like when you see these old clocks. So when one gear moves, all of these move, and each one of them has a different cycle. So this calendar that I mentioned, the Chulkij, it's formed by 20 energies, so to speak, with 13 numbers each. So 20 times 13 gives 260 days. This is a 260-day cycle that it's around 9 months. That is the time of gestation of a human being. So yeah, this is specifically for the human being. And when we work with the calendar, actually with working with the energy of each day, it helps us activate the gifts and all the potential that we have, help us remember and understand why we incarnated here in this moment. And yeah, it's amazing. And this Cholkir calendar is the one that is at the center of all the calendars. So it has a lot of information for us to understand how time and space is woven, and helping us to remember and come back and reconnect with all our parts of what we are, right? Like consciousness is experiencing itself in infinite ways. So the this Mayan calendar is helping us to connect with all those pieces, and it has so many layers to it. It's really fascinating. So I want to share a little bit about the energy of this day according to the Cholkir calendar. But as I say, there are 20 energies with 13 numbers each. So today is also being what's the word for this? Under the influence of what we call a trecena. That is a cycle of 13 days. So we have a lot of cycles inside other cycles. There's energy in the day, energy in the month, energy in the year, and so on. But I wanted to start sharing a little bit about this trecena, this 13-day cycle that started on July 30, sorry. That is the trecena of Akabao. So Akabal is the energy that talks about polarity, right? Everything here comes in pairs, but it's just like a coin, right? A coin has two sides, and we're not able to see two sides at the same time, right? We had to turn it over. Oh, you can see one side, turn it around and see the other side. So that's a little bit what we're experiencing here, right? We don't experience two things at the same time. We need to experience this polarity, but these two sides are the ones that give the value to this coin, right? It's just one coin. There's just two sides of seeing the same thing, and we cannot separate it. Even if I have a little saw and cut it in half, I will still have two sides. So Akabal is reminding us that, yeah, we came here to incarnate at this moment and have this experience of polarity, but for a reason, right? Everything, absolutely everything is working or is happening for us either, and we can use it either to awaken and remember or to get lost, right? That's kind of our choice. So Akabal is for example, I was sharing with Mariana, like we have these two portals every day that have to do with Akabal, is the sunrise and the sunset, because Akabal represents the darkest moment of the night before we can start seeing the first rays of light. So in this trecena, we are reminded, like in everything that is happening around the world right now, there's a lot of chaos and there's a lot of darkness, and everyone is focusing on that. But Akabal reminds us of the beauty of transformation that can happen in darkness, right? I say in all my readings, we will never question anything or start our inner journey if everything were perfect. We'll never say like, well, I'm so beautiful and successful and connected, and wow, something must be wrong. No, it's when the opposite happens that we fall flat on our faces, we go through struggles or even illnesses, then we start questioning, and that's when we start our inner and spiritual path. So actually, polarity, it's very very powerful. Just like when we plant the seed, we plant it in darkness, right? It's in the soil, and it needs to break apart first to become something else, and then it starts growing and pushing itself through the soil. It doesn't know what's going on, it doesn't know what's happening, but it's transforming until at last it sprouts and starts seeing the light. So this trecena is reminding us of that, like, okay, through this apparent darkness, we have the opportunity to find the light, right? Because if you can see, light and darkness is not separated, right? During the day, we also have shadows. And when the sun gets stronger, the shadows get stronger. During the night, we also have the light from the moon, from the stars. So inside whatever we call darkness, inside we can have find the light, we can find the gift. So this Trisana is reminding us the beauty, the beautiful opportunity of transformation that we are going through. But it depends to us of how we see things, right? Like separating things or learn to integrate this, right? And talking about the divine feminine and the divine masculine is a little bit of that too, like learning to integrate everything that comes in pairs. We came here to experience fully, and then we can stay at the center and look at both sides and say like, whoa, this comes from the same place, and start integrating. So this Trisena is about that, going through transformation. The spiritual path is going or the hero's journey, and we have the story also in the Mayan cosmology, is going inside our shadows, right? And integrate that, heal that, unplug, or whatever you need to we need to do, and die to what we are not, in order to be reborn or reconnect to our real light and essence. So also what Akabal reminds us is to how you say this, if we have a routine, or if we are used to do things in a certain way, this is the moment to start doing things different, right? Like, okay, I've tried this so many times. Well, what if I just do something different? So get out of the routine, learn to let go things from the past, and just work with this, with the present. And but also, as I said, it could represent the darkest moment of the night before the first rays of light, but also it represents like the sunrise, right? So it Kabbalah also brings hope. He's saying like, don't worry, yeah, we're going through all this apparent chaos and darkness in the world, but it's because we're transforming. It's because there's this new day coming soon. Just stay there, right? There's like this hope if we are open to let it in. So now for the energy of this day in specific, like yesterday, we celebrated here in Guatemala the divine energy, or the divine side of creation, right? Just like the masculine is the one that kind of the architect, the one that designs, but the feminine side of creation is the one that gives birth to everything that we see around us, right? Physical and energetic and everything. So yesterday we celebrated that in Guatemala, and today we have the energy of 10E. E represents the path, right? Is the spiritual path. All of us are going through a spiritual path because we are spirit experiencing in this human body. The difference is if we are conscious of it or not. But it comes with the number 10 today. The number 10 represents a community, and also represents manifestation. So we are invited today to say like, okay, to observe our path, and to question, do I want to keep following the collective, right? Do I want to follow other people's steps, or I dare to walk my own path, that inner path, right? And just by walking our inner path, we can remember who we are, connect with our gifts, strengths. We can know our place in our community. So then we know what gifts we can offer to the community, can offer to the collective. So it's not being selfish, right? No, I need to do my work first, so I know what I can give to other people, and then work as a community as a whole. And A is also seen as the ladder that connects the upper world with the underworld. So we're also given this opportunity to ask for guidance, as for yeah, for messages from any of those realms, right? To remember our spiritual path, or why, or understand why we chose to incarnate in this moments. And about manifestation, with the number 10 is reminding us that we are creating or co-creating, actually, because this reality is created by us, by our subconscious, but it's also created collectively, but also there's created at a soul level. There are so many things that in how we co-create this reality, but is reminding us like, okay, pay attention to what you're thinking, to what you're telling yourself, to what you're repeating to yourself, to what you're telling to others, because we need to start being more and more conscious of what we are creating. We need to take responsibility. There is no time to blame others, like, oh, this is happening because this and that. No, this is all our responsibility. So if I can start taking my responsibility for my own things, then I can start this can start moving, so to speak. And another thing, another beautiful thing of the energy of air is that is the one that brings, or that's the capacity to bring like different visions into one common vision, right? So many different ways of seeing the world, many different mindsets, many different beliefs, but how we can see all of them and bring them together, or find the common view of all of them. So this Trasena will finish with 13 Tsikin. Like today is the 10th day of the Trasena. And Tsikin is literally means bird, so it brings us higher vision, you know, like the eagle can see everything from above, every single thing. So the number 13 is the number of the old our ancestors and the ethereal beings. So there we can ask, like in 2 days, we can ask like, please help me see what I'm not able to see, right? Because they're able to see the whole picture, while sometimes we're still in our bubble, or just the things we may channel or receive. So it's like, as I said in this Tristan of Akabao, like, yeah, help me to find the light in whatever darkness we were living. Like everyone has their own thing they're working with, or the light could be even remember who I am as an essence, a spirit. And this will prepare us for the next Trisana, that it's all about forgiveness and compassion and acceptance, and our healing journey, walking our healing journey with love and compassion. So yeah, that's what I have to share about the energies of today and this Trasana.
Jen, that was so beautiful. And I was listening to you as I'm in the atmosphere. Like I'm not in any country or city at this point. I'm right on top of the two rivers. And literally we have a lot of rain coming down and fog. And it's just like literally heaven and earth connecting. So it's just like, wow.
I was actually just talking.
It became so like, it makes so much sense.
Sorry, I didn't.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I didn't hear.
Okay,
yes.
Can you hear me now? You can hear me better now? Great. So I was just saying that I can hear it so much clearer as you're speaking, because the vibration as you're speaking becomes so much more amplified during the connection with Earth and during the connection with nature so much. It's a beautiful thing. It really, really is. Yes. Have you learned anything? Has anything come to you specifically personally in the last 2 days? And then just for the energies for today.
Yeah,
I know it has.
Well, there is something, I don't know if I can really word it yet, but I'm sure you the ones that are here will understand. Like when we start seeing, when I was talking about co-creation, like, okay, then I have to work with my lineage and maybe things that I bring from a past life, but then I need to master my thoughts, my energy, and blah blah blah, you know. Sometimes it feels like it's never ending, or how am I going to be able to see that, to do that. And what it came through is like the understanding that coming here to earth is actually a mastery, you know, like when we go through school, high school and college, university, getting a PhD, I don't know what other things are there, but actually it's like, yeah, you're getting it. So you came here to go through these, I don't know how to say,
Like getting your doctorate's degree.
exactly. So yeah, we need to become masters and learn not just to speak the language of energy, but how learn to use it. And this is what we're kind of learning, but at the same time we're remembering because we already are that. And I was like, oh my god, this is like, I never saw it this way, because you hear people saying like, yeah, earth is like cool and that kind of stuff, and yeah, but suddenly it came really clear, this is a mastery. So the ones that are actually taking responsibility is, yeah, because they're going through their doctorate and that kind of stuff. And that for me was kind of powerful. So is understanding, like when people, I don't know, are going through something, it's like learning and or remembering that everything is energy, right? If you're going through an emotion or even a trauma, if we get caught in the story like this happened to me and this happened to me, we can get stuck there for I don't know how long. But if you understand this is just energy, okay, if we detach or not detach but learn to give space or yeah, well, detach from the story of for the person and just see it as energy, is like how I'm going to transmute this energy. It's completely different. It actually changes. So if we were able to remember that with everything that is happening around us, that time and space is also another language, then yeah, there are a lot of other things that uncover and unfold from that. So yeah, that's something that came to me recently.
Beautiful. Yeah, I was learning what's been coming to me. I was actually telling my husband last night the same thing you were saying, the two sides of a coin.
Mhm.
You know, sometimes in our darkest moments, we find out how truly strong we are. And those are the moments in which we're going to remember. And these are the moments that also can be generational, because say you're drinking and driving, get a ticket. You remember that horrible experience, and then you teach your children, do not drink and drive.
Mhm.
And so it's like, although you might be in the middle of that chaos, we learn and have that opportunity. Some people take a little longer, but we have the opportunity to see the light and the lessons within them. And so I like that, you know, as above, so below, as within, as without. And things that I've been learning, most definitely remote viewing has been coming to me, but it's last 15 seconds. So I actually get to see a lot of different cultural stuff. So that's really cool that you were talking about Mayans. So I was actually thinking about that too. So that's interesting.
Yeah, and I wanted to add something that you just of what you just said right now. Like when I said that inside whatever we may call darkness is the gift. If we push that aside, we're also pushing aside the gift and the light. So actually, the spiritual journey, I say this to the people in readings, we tend to believe like spiritual just connecting and channel and beauty and music, but no, it's about going into our own darkness, into in, as I said, we have our own story about that, like into the underworld, right? And pass all these tests and just going through our death or the ego death, so to speak. That's when we're okay, I get it right now. And in this story, because it's the story of the hero twins, they go into the underworld and pass all these tests. They get killed and thrown into the river into pieces, but they come back to life as magicians, as shamans. And with those gifts, they defeated the lords of the underworld. And when they come to the middle world, one becomes the sun and the other one becomes the moon. So then again, you also always have this two sides, this polarity, this divine feminine and divine masculine, as you say, Mother Earth. And so, yeah, this is how this is built. But because we need to remember to integrate it, right?
Right.
Not separate it.
Exactly. I love how all of this is
I love this
integrated.
with the underworld. I love that story. It's like Ishtar going into the underworld,
Yeah.
right? It's like, but the truth is, if you think about it, really, the whole concept of going in the underworld, right? You have to, exactly what you just said. We all are on the same page. You have to experience the darkness in order to see the truest light. How could you see the beauty of the light and what it can give you, the truth and wisdom and the gift of light, if you have never been touched by darkness, that you've never went into the underworld? It's the same thing as like, how can you really experience true wealth if you were never like really poor? If you were given everything on a silver spoon, how would you ever actually able to experience that the right way? So that's the whole thing with the concept. And I think today is such a instrumental and immaculate. I call it an immaculate moment. And I guess I got the guidance. Guess that's got it's a Magdalene, Isis, Sophia, Mother Mary, and Yeshua's message that today serves to be an immaculate moment for humanity, all across every plane in every direction, because we are clearing the grids. We are clearing the lane lines. We're clearing the timelines, and we are really literally choosing what works best. Where do we want to go from here? Do we want to go into the fear? Do we want to stay there, like in the washing machine in that old rinse cycle? Or do we want to get to somewhere much better? Do we want to actually cross over into a much better place for us all? Are we ready to get into 5D Earth? What is 5D Earth? Like we talked about in the past and previous shows, what is the kingdom? Right? Is it just something that we can see? Is it something that we can hear? Or is it something like the wind, like Yeshua used to talk about? Is it something that we could just feel inside of us? And I think that you guys hit it right on the money. And it's such an amazing thing that we could share that with humanity. And that, you know, we will make sure to put this message, both of your messages out there to as many people as possible all across the globe. I mean, it needs to be said. Do you have any other messages specifically that you want to add for humanity as a whole at this time?
I don't think so. There was another message that came through last week, but I don't remember it right now for some reason.
Since we covered it all
Yeah.
in this moment.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I will say, and I feel like saying it again, the hope that Akabal brings, because this last week I had like a very, very tough week, physically, energetically, and attacks. And yesterday someone called me for help, that she was going through something deep. I think that Mariana, you told me that you're also going through some stuff, and I was like, So I will say, like, don't despair, you know. We're also like conditioned when we to think like, if I'm getting sick, I'm doing something wrong, right? Or is karma, what did I did in a past life, is this a punishment, and all these things, right? And we need to to get out of that mindset, right? It's just like we are processing a lot of things that our body, being so dense, it doesn't know how to work with it yet. And
I call it spiritual whiplash.
Yeah, like you can get
for you, not to you.
Exactly. So I was reminded yesterday with the energy that the Nawal that this woman has, that because it's the law of cause and effect and all of that, it's like if we could learn to be thankful for everything, not just the good things that are happening to us, right? But even the things that we don't like, that are challenging. So just learn to give thanks, even if we don't know what they mean. Like, I don't know what this is happening to me. I don't understand it, but I give thanks because I know it's helping me. I know it's happening for a reason. Thank you because I'm going to understand it later. So don't try to understand everything that is going on, because we're not capable. Mainly now that there are so many things happening in so many levels, how are we going able to understand what's happening? So just like I know that there's a lot of people going through very, very challenging times. So yeah, if we could just like try a little bit and just be thankful. Okay, I don't understand it, this is horrible and this hurts or whatever it is, but thank you, spirit, because you know better than me. So it brings also a little bit of humility that yeah, we don't know everything. So yeah.
That was beautiful, Jen. I think it adds to the fact that, you know, every lesson is a gift.
Mm.
And we're here because we are meant to learn certain lessons. Every one of us, it's individual as a collective as well. And, you know, you're 100% right. Saying thank you for everything, everything that happens to us is a lesson. It's very true. And if we just say thank you, gratitude bridges the worlds between hate and love. And gratitude raises our vibration, just like laughter, just like smiling, just like happiness and joy. And being grateful for every moment, being grateful for every experience. I truly believe in my heart of hearts that being grateful for every experience, whether it's good or bad, actually turns us into a whole new key. It's a new plateau. It gives us the ability to learn our lessons and master them a lot more easier, with a lot more soothing and suave, and just being able to see things beyond that veil. Like shamans teach, we see what's unseen. And we're able to become the shamans of our own co-creativity in our own lives by being thankful for the things that other people would definitely consider like, oh my God, this is a travesty. This is like it's like the end of my life, right? We say thank you brings us to a level of mastery that, you know, we never thought we would even reach up to this point. And I think every one of our lifetimes, we learn each certain lessons and we come back to finish them and reconcile the things that we couldn't before. And so what you said is right on point. I mean, it's truly, I knew a lady, there was an amazing story at my job many years ago. She got into a car accident with her son. Her son was freaking out. Oh my God, the insurance. Oh my God, the car, the $100,000 car. Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. How we're going to make it? We need wheels, we need car. The mom just said, thank you. And everybody looked at her and said, what? What are you saying? And they thought she was like going, you know, delirious from the accident. They were like, can we go get you to a hospital so you can get an MRI scan of your brain? Or what we say thank you for? And she was like, you don't have to take me to the hospital. Take my son to the hospital so he could take some sort of like stuff for his mental psyche right now. Because she's like, I'm just saying thank you because you know what, we're alive. And if you want to take me to the hospital to figure out how my head is because I'm thankful to be alive, then maybe you should all get your heads checked.
Look for the small wins when we're going through a lot of those hard moments. Sometimes we want to see those really big wins, like if you're opening a business or buying a house, but we stop and forget to try to find those little small wins. Whether it's a butterfly just landing on your arm or just the small beauty moments while we're in that darkness, because those are the stars. When we're in the darkness and we're going through a lot of chaos, it's to find those little wins to get you through. And it does keep you humble. It really does. Yeah. And, you know, like you're saying, to the big picture, everything, I think of it as thousands of hands behind you, because you might not always see those hands and what they're doing, but they're always doing it for your highest good. And we might not always see. And so, like you're saying, giving a lot of thanks to our higher selves or the universe, it's in general, because we are just so small and you have no idea how really, really, really tiny we are compared to the galaxies and the universe and everything that's going on in the background. So we've been taught for so long that we're the only thing that exists. We're the only planet, and we're high almighty, and we know everything. And it's spirit kind of giving us some humble, like, no, you are tiny. Like, you are very, very, very tiny compared to the big picture. And so just be humble and know that everything is happening for you, and to find those little wins to get you through those really hard times.
Yeah, and also like remembering that everything is energy. When we are frustrated, we're making things worse, right? So when we are in this dark moments or difficult moments, or when we get like stress, and we make things worse. So just by saying thank you, even if you don't understand it, even if it doesn't make sense, it starts like release a little bit, like the knot, and you're given like space for spirit to say like, okay, you're open now I can help you, because everything is energy. So if we could like remember to do that, I know it's difficult sometimes, like, how am I gonna be grateful about this? But just by saying that, okay, grateful is being humble, and also what's the word for this? The word doesn't give, but it's like it's given space to say to for spirit to actually, okay, now I can do this, because you're not pushing, you're not struggle, you're no, now I can do something, right? So
Yeah, we hold space for each other, we hold space for ourselves. And with that, I just want to add, like, if we don't have the judgment, we learn, like, I think this today, really, that message came to me, is that how vital it is to not judge ourselves, how vital it is to really confront the deepest shadows of ourselves, the deepest moments where we have ridiculed our own selves, we criticize. We absolutely don't want to get ridiculed or criticized by others, but yeah, we do that to ourselves, even subconsciously. We don't even become, we don't realize that we're doing it at times. And the actions we have done during our journey, before our journey, we often say, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or we judge it. And we can't judge it if we want to experience unconditional love. We can't judge it if we want to experience unconditional love and bring it to others. Just like Rebecca said, you have to do your own work first in order to bring it out to everyone. Just like you said, Jen, you have to do your own work first in order to share that. How could you possibly be a good vessel, a greatest vessel to humanity, if you are still toiling with the things and kind of like intertwining between and winding between this and that? And I think it's an amazing thing that today beckons us to look in the mirror and just say, I love you, without condition, without judgment, without any kind of just being reciprocal in the way to say, I am worthy, I am beautiful, I am not judging you, and just speak to your inner child, speak to the deepest parts within, speak to your cells, the mitochondria, the nucleus within your cells, and just say, I love you. I am healed. I am spirit and body. I choose to consciously accept that fact today, right now, and to change everything I want to change about my reality and make it the way I want it to be, the way I breathe it to be in life. Not because I am going through something that I'm adding on to any kind of stress, that I'm influenced by something outside of myself, but by something that's within me. I look towards within me and I accept that within me, and I don't judge it. And I don't judge the one I was before. I don't judge my actions, because everything that I've done up to this moment had led me to this. I mean, does that make sense, guys? What do you think you could add to that?
completely. And yeah, coming back to the Trezena of Akabala is that, right? The opposite, like a dark, right and wrong. And we've been playing this all the time, like a ping pong, right? And there's a lot of division. So Akabal is the one that invites us, okay, we all need to go to the center And as I said before, look at both sides and like, well, this comes from the same, right? And in the center, well, actually, with the numbers, Kabal talks about the number 2, but once we are in the center, we integrate these opposites, we move up to the top of the pyramid, so to speak. And there it's there's no polarity anymore, right? There's no judgment anymore. So it's learning to see things as they are, not as we think they are, or believe they are, or wish they were. So it's a little bit what you're saying, like if we drop the judgment and start learn to see things as they are without that polarity.
And Rebecca, what would you like to add to that as well?
Oh, I mean, I completely agree. Yes, we are moving into a place where we aren't going to be so much judging. I think a lot of people grew up thinking that, judgment, like when I connect to spirit, they tell me judgment is not in their vocabulary. That is a human condition. Because we are about experience, we're about love, we're about learning. Your soul, a lot of people talk about soulmates, finding their other half of who they are. That is your higher self. Because your soul has been with you since the beginning of your soul's life, which would be all your incarnations, every experience you've ever had in your entire life, whether you might have had a past life where someone deemed you a witch and you burned. And I mean, your soul has been there through all of it. You could have been a horrible person in a past life. You could have been a saint in a past life. We've had to experience everything in your soul. Your higher self has been there from day one and will be there for infinity. And so your soul, it loves you literally unconditionally. That is the top of the pyramid where your soul is literally saying there is nothing you can do that I am going to judge you. It's like a GPS. Okay. They might sit there and say, okay, you're veering down the wrong road, but let me reroute you. But maybe you turn down that road to experience something or meet somebody who you were supposed to help, or they were to help you. So judgment is something that is not supposed to be in our vocabulary, that was man-made. And it was basically because nobody can take your power. And so the best way to do that is by scaring you out of not using it. And so basically they said, oh, if you don't do this and you don't follow human rule, that you're going to burn in the bottomless pit. And so it scares people. Like, I don't want to do that. And I'm not talking about like doing crazy things, but I mean, it's your soul loves you unconditionally. Period. There's no questions or, hey, maybe do this for me. No, it loves you. It's just gonna, if you go off path, it's just gonna say, hey, you took a wrong turn, let me GPS you back onto the right. And so I guess kind of seeing it in that concept and understanding that you should love you just as much as your soul does.
It's an amazing way of saying that, Rebecca, because we don't, we didn't grow up on that. It's definitely, as far as the Rainbow Crystal children, it's definitely a new age Rainbow Crystal framework of thinking. But that's the greatest thing about life, is that we get to relearn everything all over again. We get to treat life as our lesson plan. And that's another thing. We don't get to judge it. We just treat it as, hey, this is another lesson we have to learn. And it's a lesson in unconditional love. Because we want to say, okay, well, we all want unconditional love. Do we even know what it is?
Right.
Do you even know what it feels like? We all want our, partners to love us, but have we actually stare in the mirror and see what we are putting out there to attract that? So it's 100% right on the money. Very
First
true.
time I ever connected to my light family, I remember just bawling my eyes out, just thinking because I felt so much love that I'm sitting there thinking, like, it kind of mind boggled me. Like, how could you forget something this powerful? Like, how could you forget your soul family? who loves you. I mean, a love that you probably never experienced before. And how can you forget that? So it was very mind blowing to me how you forget that. But it happened for a reason. It's like you guys were saying, how do you know that amount of love if you don't experience some turbulence to make you appreciate that type of love?
And even in the context of the Magdalene, if you think about that, right? And even in the context of the divine feminine, if you think about the core root wound that we've all experienced as the divine feminine stems in that being cut off from that unconditional love and kind of having that amnesia moment where we don't remember what it feels like because we have been so brought down, pushed down, so extricated from our own root core source of what love is meant to be about. And I think days like today, you know, bring us back to that source, bring us back to that which we are. And I think it's beautiful to be able to say that to one another, like, I love you unconditionally. And because I see source in you, and you see source in me, and we are all meant that way. And it's amazing that the divine feminine is now breaking ground so much, where it's literally imploring the world. I mean, we're carrying the seeds that implore this world because we are the divine feminine. And we are bringing balance back to humanity and to the human consciousness collective. We're bringing back the balance to Gaia in every possible way that we can. And we're ripping through like ripple effects in time in the quantum vectors through these timelines that have separated us from source, that created these soul fragmentations throughout vectors of time. And it's really amazing. It really is. Rebecca, if you can you lead us through another light language kind of meditation, if you can as well, and Jen and I.
Absolutely. We went through a lot of stuff. So tonight when you were laying down, I love to do meditations at nighttime because we tend to sit there and think a lot as we're laying down, and we're quiet and we're not dealing with children, husbands, friends, family, and work. We're always constantly thinking about what we need to do. So tonight, just know that if Earth was brand new and Earth has never experienced trauma, fear, war, anything, and you could bring throughout all of your life experience that you've had to this new Earth, what are the things that you would bring with you that would give you love, comfort, joy, happiness? And so that is a very beautiful meditation to do before you go to bed. It's almost like literally mentally creating that Earth for you. So I will start the light language for you guys. Bismillah, Bismillah, I'm seeing like DNA strands. I'm gonna ask if that's what. Oh, blueprints. Our star family is bringing in blueprints to activate gifts, skills, abilities to help release things that no longer serve. Bringing in, so it's like our star family is coming in giving gifts for the new Earth, like a housewarming. They're literally just waiting for you to open and invite them to give you love and wisdom and guidance. And you can ask them to join you in your sleep state. This is a neutral space in which they communicate to you in your dreams. If you have a hard time remembering your dreams, you can ask them to set that intention before you go to bed. And that way, when you first start waking up, you can start remembering these messages as you're getting them. They're sending so much love and strength and so much light to the spectrum in which we don't even perceive ourselves. And they are grateful that you opened the door for this communication. They're very happy that we are opening ourselves to them once more. And they're saying they love you and to enjoy today for what today is. That's the end of that light language transmission. They're saying good night.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely a pleasure in having our guides here. And
Yeah, I get
especially where we are.
Syrian and Octarian.
Yes, Arcturian and Lyran and Andromeda.
I see it like in my mind. So as we're stepping into new earth, or building the new earth, they did come back then, and they loved the Mayan because that happened in their timeline too. That's what they're saying. Like when they were rebuilding or going into an air, they ascended. And so that's amazing actually to connect into that. But they bring gifts, like this is gifts for you, like bricks, like when you're building a new earth or you're building your home in a stronger foundation, and they're giving you gifts for your new earth. So that's very nice of them.
I think it was uncanny that we were all brought together tonight.
I know, it's amazing. It's easier for our star family to connect with us in this time because they're so close to us. We had the new moon, which is great for manifesting for the month, like things you would like to work on. But also we have the Lionsgate portal, and Cyrus is very close to Earth right now too as well. So we got a lot of them coming through, and it's easier to connect when they're so close. It's less
I
fuzzy.
feel also. I also
Sometimes
feel
I start humming. I gotta go ground myself.
Yes, definitely a lot of Pleiadian energy, a lot of Orion, a lot of Arcturus for sure, and a lot of Lyran energy definitely here. A lot of Christ Consciousness Collective here as well. There's a lot of ancestors, John, that's coming in from your side, on the right side, that I feel quite a bit.
I know ancestors have been coming in for like a month. Like I keep on seeing a lot of my Viking ancestors coming in out of nowhere. And so it's like it's like a big gathering in not just Earth, but our family who's ascended before us. And so you can most definitely sense the energy is really just really coming in, and it's like the universe is very excited for us. They kind of want to see where it's going. So because they can't technically intervene, but they do for Earth. They keep her safe, they keep her frequency high, but we have free will in our human reality. So they can't come in and force us to do anything. We have to ask for it. And so it's kind of like they're there with you. They want to help, they do, but we have free will.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Okay, so let's try to do a meditation, and let's do a big global prayer. And I know that Jennifer Ashira is meant to be joining us in a little bit from the temples in Crete, in Greece. Very interesting how we even have that set. And she's actually doing the training for the High Priestesses of Isis. And she actually has a big retreat coming up in Greece in September. So it's really amazing. She had her own event today earlier. I tried to log in, but I couldn't. I had a ticket, but I guess it wasn't meant to be today. But she'll be joining us. She's actually sleeping, but she'll be waking up shortly. It's going to be 5 a.m. in Greece at the time that she's going to be doing this global prayer with us. So she's waking up just so she can join us as well. But let's close our eyes if we can. And I'm going to do a global prayer first. We're going to call in all of our guides, and we're going to call in all of our ancestors from all the timelines, from the beginning of Earth, from the Alpha and Omega moment. So now we're going to call up all of our guides and everyone from human kingdom to the mycelia, to all parts of the earth in all directions. We're going to call upon Mother Mary and Yeshua and Isis and Sanat Kumara. We're going to call upon Hilarion and Serapis Bey, all our Pleiadian brothers and sisters, all of our Syrian brothers and sisters, all of our Andromedan brothers and sisters, our Lyran brothers and sisters, Orion brothers and sisters, Tatiana and Cassiopeia, and from every single galaxy. We're going to call upon Diana, Goddess Diana. We're going to call upon Goddess Ishtar and Inanna. We're going to call Mother Isis. We're going to call Anna, Yeshua's grandmother. We're going to call upon Yeshua and Maria Magdalena. We're going to call upon all the angels. We're going to call upon Kuan Yin and all of our guides in galactic sector. We're going to call upon everyone that we have ever called upon from our astral planes, from every dimension. We're going to connect to every dimension. There's off the light. We're going to collect to our light brothers and sisters in the Federation of Light. We are going to connect directly, stream it into source. And we're going to call into our souls. We're going to call into our higher selves. And we're going to ask that from beginning of today, as a beginning, there's no end. We implore into our hearts of hearts, into the deepest parts of our hearts, nothing but unconditional love for ourselves and from humanity. We're going to ask that Mother Earth be cleansed and purified, and healing may begin and continue to stem for generations to come in every single ley line, in every single grid, in all of its lakes and all of its rivers and all of its oceans and in its soil and in all of its mountains and into the skies and each cloud. We're going to ask that Mother Earth remain healed and perfect as God has made her, as we co-create a new jump off point into the greatest vibration that we could possibly be, into our better selves, into the selves that we are meant to be as per our divine blueprint on earth in this incarnation, so that we can help Gaia ascend into the 5D realm together with us, so we can create a better world, not only for ourselves, but for our children and for our children's children, so that next generations may find it easier and more soothing to live on this planet, that we can be more awakened into our God self, that we could be more awakened into that which we are created to be, to our divine truth, to see our divine truth with the eyes of love, to be that which we are, and to awaken more and more and more each day, and to awaken those that still sleep, so we could all meet in the ethers together at the dawning of this great ascension, and so that we could be together in life and forever in perpetual motion as this life continues to, it never ends. It is never stagnant. The only ones that are stagnant is when we stagnate ourselves in our own stuckness, disconnecting ourselves from source. So we allow ourselves to become more free and to become more loving and kind, and have our hearts open directly Some primordial divine blueprints itself, where we can be the best selves that we can. So in order to serve humanity the best way that we can possibly imagine. And so say it's inside of you or together with me, I choose my life path, my journey tonight, together with all of us on this call. I breathe my life path, my journey, the way I envision it to be, the way I breathe it into life to be, the way I imagine it to be, the way I bless it in my heart of hearts to be, the way I see it with my eyes of soul to be, the way I dream it to be in every astral plane and in the physical plane to be, the way I speak it into life to be, and the way I breathe it into life to be, and no other way. And so we ask our guides, we ask our ancestors, we ask that today be the day that it be remembered in our lives and for the days to come, that we ask from the entire and on behalf of the entire world, that life may become more free, may become more open, that we become the portals that are open to allowing our hearts to be permeated only with love and joy, so that anyone we come in contact with will permeate that love and joy to everyone they come in contact with. And that becomes an unending journey in perpetual motion. And so we ask that the world remains in healing, that Pachamama finally receives her healing from now on until eternity, that finally Mother Earth can heal, that we can be together beating with her heart every single moment of our lives, that we think not with our minds, but we think with our hearts. Our heart has intelligence, our heart has purity, and we choose today and no other day to envelop our lives with the heart and with love, and the love that is permeated through our inner soul and our inner being tonight on this earthly plane. And we ask that the healing may begin and that it may reach every single person on this planet, that each ley line and grid may receive the healing from the north to the south, from the east to the west, and in every cross-dimensional section of this earth, from the earth soil all the way up to its stratosphere. We ask that the mycelia and the animal kingdom and the human kingdom and the inner fires and the inner volcanoes and the lakes and the rivers and the mountains be purified tonight. We ask that all of our human brothers and sisters receive the light of love and the light of healing tonight. We ask that our hearts be pure, that we look towards our human brothers and sisters in love and in light within the human collective, that we reach to our galactic brothers and sisters in the galactic consciousness, and we ask for their assistance day in and day out and their guidance, and we work together with their guidance together as one, for we are not separate. We are all one. We are all the images. We are meant in the image of the source, and we are all together as one, not only the human consciousness collective, but also the galactic consciousness collective. And we are together, and we do ask that joy be permeated throughout every direction of Earth tonight, that there's love, that there's harmony, that there's unity, that there's tremendous healing upon this earth and upon humanity at this time, to all of our brothers and sisters, to all of our children, to all of our children's children, to all of our elder adults, to all of our age groups, to everyone that is on this planet tonight. We ask for tremendous healing. We ask that our guides help us and assist. And we ask that all of our brothers and sisters from the Pleiades, from Arcturus, from Sirius, from Lyra, from Andromeda, from Orion, from Tatiana, from Cassiopeia, and from every single galaxy that has assisted us from the times of Atlantis, from the times of Lemuria and beyond. We ask for their assistance in good kind and in heart. And we thank all of our guides that have been present together with us tonight. We thank the universe. We thank our multiverse. We thank our omniverse. We thank Mother Sophia. We thank Mother Divine, Mother Mary. We thank Isis and Sana Kamara and Ishtar and Inanna and Yeshua and Anna and Hilarion and Serapis Bey and Diana and all in Kuan Yin, all the divine feminine goddesses of Nias, Shakti, and Shiva. Thank you so much for being a part of that. We ask all of our ancestors, thank you for being a part of that. We ask Archangel Michael, thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you so much to Archangel Haniel, Archangel Raphael, and Metatron, and Sandalphon, and Uriel, and Ariel, and all of the angels, all of the archangels, all of the Elohim, all of the seraphim. Thank you so much to God's source. Thank you for being part of our creation. Thank you for being a part of us. Thank you so much for everything that you have guided us through and assisted us and have given us. And thank you for that which we are and we have given to ourselves in order to serve humanity. And thank you to us for being a part of this earth and for reincarnating at this time. For it is in our hands to be able to open our hearts tonight. Let us lead ourselves into the greatest opening of all life for us. Let us learn the greatest lesson of unconditional love tonight so we can permeate Mother Earth with that love to each person that we come in contact with, so we can make that difference that we came here to make, each step at a time, each oyster at a time. May our transformation be eternal. And what is that transformation? Only in God's grace and love that we seek to be filled with unconditional love, with no judgment and no ridicule and no criticism, just love. And we ask that tonight, every corner of earth be permeated with that healing, that love, that guidance, that balance, and that unity within and without. Just like Mother Isis once said, the beauty stems from within out, and we truly open our hearts to permeate that beauty of our own into the universe and into the universal space and center and into the entire galactic consciousness collective and into every quantum vector we can possibly penetrate the light in, and into every caveat or darkness we will imbue light from here on in, permanently and unconditionally. May it be, and so it is done, and so it is done, and so it is done. Aho and Ashe. Thank you to all of our guys that have been there tonight with us. Thank you. Thank you, ladies, so much. How are we feeling, everyone?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. You want to add anything else, Jen?
No, well, I just when you were closing, I just realized that it's funny that the three of us, we all have a selenite with us, and mine is pyramidal. I don't know why it came to me like, oh, that's helping us connect, not just like between the three of us. Maybe it's silly, but I was like, oh. It's funny.
Great minds think alike.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I didn't even do the light language. Oh man. Okay, Rebecca, start me off again one more time on the light language.
Light
So I can
language.
continue on. Yeah, so I can continue on from you.
She's really just grounding in, and so I see most definitely like just white light come down. It hits the crystal core of Mother Earth, and it just, every rainbow you can see just kind of shoots out through all the sacred sites all over on every timeline in which Earth has experienced. It's just really like grid in what you were doing your meditation for. And it's almost like I see a lot of our star families on every point on the Earth side. That's how I see this. She's also bringing in earth spirits, and to remind us that sometimes when we feel lost, if you look into nature, even to the smallest insect, everything has its abilities, no matter how small. An ant can lift so much of its weight, and we're no different. We all have our skills and abilities in which we came here and incarnated on Earth to shine our light and to really just bring us into that 5D. And so she's just really kind of grounding in your meditation for you. That's beautiful. I like that. It's almost like every line. So I see like all the sacred sites and temples throughout the timeline. So almost like you see the tree, you see trees have ripples in them for each, like year they're born, they get a new ripple. And Earth is no different from the starting of her life. She has gone through so much throughout it that in every, we've evolved and evolved over every incarnation. And so we only kind of see what's kind of on the surface, but we're not seeing all the sacredness that's really deep down in the core of it. And so the way I see it in my mind is when God's source's light comes through, it's like the crystal heart of Mother Gaia. And so as that light goes into the crystal, it literally is shooting off the different colors and different frequencies, which then are connecting to the vortexes or sacred sites throughout history. So it's really interesting, and it's almost like healing past, so we can move into this great golden era in which we're moving.
It's amazing that I'm actually holding the Lemurian sea crystal as I'm doing this right now with you guys. Isn't that amazing?
I love to put this in the sunlight because it almost like galaxies is how I see.
Yeah, the striations. Yeah. Look at the striations that's on it. It's amazing. And like the fact that I'm wearing the smoky quartz, that helps a lot.
And they say with the Lemurians, each line in the Lemurian is an encoded story from Lemuria or Atlantis. So Lemurians came before Atlantis, and they used crystal technology, which is, you know, when I first heard this, I wasn't sure if it was a myth or a story, but then I stumbled upon a YouTube video where they actually discovered that they can program crystals. Now you can also look it up. It's called the Superman crystal. They programmed the British library and shot it into space, which is now our first space library, basically. So then I was like, okay, maybe there's actually something to this. Maybe this is just a technology in which we're rediscovering. So I think they first discovered Lemurians in 2000. So, and now they're having a hard time finding them. So each line represents a story or wisdom in which you can access to. It's almost like a personal spiritual guide. They have different kinds. Okay, so we got Scarlet Temple Lemurians, we have the Brazilian Lemurians, and I got a smoky quartz Lemurian as well, which I like this one because it almost reminds me of the pyramids. Let me see if I can get the triangles there. It's almost like the lining of the pyramids there.
Wow.
So this is a lot for protection, clearing energies if you are a crystal healer. or use crystals for healing. I think of them as a great amplifier battery. Last night, of course, I kept it out in the new moon, and I'm going to be putting them back outside for the remainder of the Lionsgate. But yeah, I love to work with crystals.
Yeah, it really is amazing because I used to actually put the crystals inside earth. I don't know, Jen, if you've ever done that, if you work with crystals or anything like that, but I used to put them inside earth. And I have like the funniest story to add. When I first started my journey and I started to learn about crystals, I took a moldavite along with rose quartz and other crystals, nice, put it in the soil by the house. And every single one of them came back up after the new moon, except for the moldavite. I freaked out. So I called the local bookshop, the spiritual bookshop that I bought it from, Namaste, who was like my guide, my library, right, for spirituality. And they called up the lady that gave it to me. And I'm like, Diana, the earth swallowed the moldavite. What do I do? Did I do something wrong? Oh my God, I angered the gods. Oh man. She's like, you didn't anger the gods. You didn't do anything wrong. In spirituality, there is nothing wrong. It's how you perceive it to be. I'm like, really? I didn't know that. She's like, you'll learn it one day. Don't worry. She's like, but actually, the earth swallowed it as a gift. So now your property tax value probably go up. So go tell your landlord his house will probably sell for a lot more. I did. I told my landlord he had a kick with that because he was actually a spiritual. So he's like, so you telling me that my property value just went up? He's like, thank you so much. So I cut you some
Yeah,
more.
in my mind, I just heard like a protection grid that the earth does, and it
Right.
like stays in that space. I've done that with a tree across the street. It reminds me of Medusa. I don't know why, but it does. I went and gave it a rose quartz rock. I just set it over there. So thank you. You know, I had an out of body experience. I was meditating and I ended up on my front porch and I was looking at that tree. And before I realized that I was out of my body, staring at this tree, and I'm sitting there thinking, man, if I could travel outside my body, why am I on my front porch? You know, I'd rather be, you know, seeing something really cool. But there's something about that tree. So I just said, okay, maybe Mother Earth is just saying that tree needs some love. So I went and gave it a rose quartz crystal. So there you go. And now across the street, it's all green. I mean, the tree's still pretty dead, but everything else around it looks beautiful.
Jen, do you bury your crystals or anything like that as well?
I only do it to cleanse them, but
Okay.
Earth hasn't swallowed any of my crystals. Sometimes it's hard to find them. Mostly they're dark crystals, but that's all.
I like to
What is
wash
your-
them in the ocean water or in a river too.
Yeah, that's true.
The river has really good energy when you're flowing it in the crystal.
Yeah. What is your favorite crystal for both you ladies? What's your favorite crystal?
Well, so far I feel it's the selenite. I used to have oh, what's this? This stone. It's from Atlantis, a blue one. What was the name of it? Well, I lost it. I lost it. It was my favorite one, and I felt, well, I feel that I'm closing a cycle. And then after reading, a woman gifted me this one that I love, and I put it in my altar. And on my next reading, it called me. It's like, you need to take me with you. It's like, huh? So this is, you're like my new guide, my new teacher and assistant. And since then, I always have it with me in every reading. So I actually don't see it as a crystal. I see it like a being. You know, you are with me. You're helping me, or we're working together. And yeah,
Aww.
this is my favorite one. So
A journey partner. Yes.
yeah.
I would have to say I really like all of them. They all have their own talents in which they use, but I would say my top two would be, of course, my Lemurian and Laborite. I like to call my little dinosaur egg or dragon energy. It's got that really pretty green It reminds me of like dragon eyes, like, or like a scale or a cute fish scale. This is labradorite. It's great for psychic and telepathic protection. It's a great grounding stone. But I love labradorite and of course my Lemurians, but I really like all of them. Depends on what I'm doing with them.
Gotcha.
What chakra I'm kind of healing.
Mine is the Centimani stone. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Centimani. The Centimani is a very, very rare breed. You can't, it's not available everywhere. And I nurture them for about a year or two. I literally take care of them. And I literally bury them in different places of the world. So far I have 2 of them buried in the Middle East, one in Israel, one in Egypt. And one actually is buried 365 degrees perpendicular to the Pyramid of Giza, which is funny because it's for the Lion's Gate. How funny is that? The other one is in, another location that I will mention at a different time in a different show. And I need one more in Latin America. So,
You need to come and find
I'll
it.
send you my Brazilian. I kept on telling myself when I first got this, it's kind of like the sisterhood of the traveling pants. I don't know why ever since I got this Lemurian, I think of that. Like, how when you were a kid in school and you had to take your hamster home and write a journal about what you did, what adventures you went on when you were in elementary. Same concept, except the person at that time who has the Lemurian crystal gets to write their experiences with it. And then as it kind of travels around the world, everybody can kind of know what they experienced with it, what adventures they went on with it. Just fun. But I keep on getting that idea. So that's funny you were saying that you have crystals all over the place.
That's
See, I'm setting my mind to Ireland, Scotland, Iceland, that area. That's where I'm going to travel to first.
I think that's your Viking heritage, right?
Well, both sides. I did my ancestry DNA, and both sides of my DNA only come from that area. So I know that my mother's side comes from the Montgomery family. I know that there's the Montgomery Castle in Ireland, so I'd like to see that.
Wow.
And oddly enough, considering my mom didn't know my dad or their side of vice versa, you would think that there'd be 2 different areas, but no, my lineage is all right there. So it's pretty interesting.
Mariana.
Wow, that's amazing. Yes, Jen.
It's just, I'm sorry,
Yes?
I need to go. I'm cat sitting for my
No
neighbor.
problem, no problem, no problem.
I need to go and feed the kittens and do some stuff there. So it's
No
been
problem.
amazing
Sorry to keep you so
connect.
long.
No, that's fine. I really had a good time. It was really nice to meet you, Rebecca. And
Very nice to meet you too.
And to share with you, Mariana, and yeah, best wishes in your path and blessings on your path.
You
Yes,
too,
you as
Jen.
well.
You too. Okay, Jen. Thank you
Take
so
care.
much. Jen
Bye.
Soda, everybody. Bye, Jen.
You can find me on www.mayareadings.com if you want to connect with me.
Yes, please book a session with her.
Please
She's amazing. Definitely book a session.
Well, bye.
Bye.
Bye, Jen. Bye. Okay, Rebecca. So we can still stick around. Jennifer Ashira, if you'd like to still, if you have time, and for April and Carlos, Jennifer should be joining us in the next 20 minutes. So
Perfect.
I know you have a family. Is that good? Yeah, great.
It's good for me. Yes,
Great.
most definitely. I'm in no rush.
Fantastic.
Might have to go do a
Great.
water run, but other than that, I'm good.
I'm kind of good. I just have,
No problem.
Is it getting cold
Yes,
over
April?
there yet?
I have a bunch of cats.
It's getting, yeah.
I have
You have a bunch of cats, April? How many cats do you have?
two feral kittens decided to
Okay.
move in with me. So, but my adult cat's not too sure about the whole thing, so I have to monitor them.
Oh, I see. How did
Yeah.
you like our meditation, April?
Oh
How did
my
you-
gosh, I was so grateful to participate. Thank you. Yeah, I can go off
Absolutely. Do
camera.
you have any questions for Rebecca?
I'm out
Oh,
here in
nice.
beautiful
Hi.
Vancouver Island.
Oh, that's so
You
beautiful.
you
Look
really
at that.
can't see the mountains right now, but yeah, it's really nice here. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, if the prayer and that was really awesome. So yeah, thank you.
Oh, that's wonderful. I have a lot of friends in Vancouver. I studied in Vancouver actually for mediumship.
Did you?
That's where I studied. Yes,
Oh.
yes.
I'm actually on the island.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
That's
so
beautiful.
I'm off, yeah, on an island.
I
You
might
really
actually be
noticed?
coming down there.
Really? When?
Yeah. In a
When?
couple of months,
Okay.
I actually have a friend there. She's actually in Manitoba, but she has a beautiful house, like a summer house in Vancouver Island. So
Oh,
I'll be coming down
brilliant.
there.
Well, then
Yeah.
we have to hook up.
My
What's the
daughter's
Absolutely.
dream
chances?
destination is in Canada.
It
I think
is.
she
What's
has
the
a past
chances?
life somewhere over there because
Oh, yeah.
she's 16 and she is obsessed with Canada. She's like, when I graduate, that's where I'm going when I'm 18. I was like, you could go anywhere. And she's
Yeah.
like, she's in Michigan. So it's like really close, not too far from home. So she's probably in that safety zone. It's not Michigan, but it's not so far away. So, but no, I think she's got a past life in Canada. She's excited about it.
Where does
Yeah,
she
I
want to go
might
to
have
Canada?
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I moved to the island. I said in grade 5, I'm going to move to Vancouver Island. But I also want to live on Crete too. So I'm a visual artist, so I do paintings and stuff like that. Yeah. So and I'm
Yeah,
also very
Beautiful
camera
skill.
shy, but I'm really, really happy to meet you. Yeah. So I'm going to go off
Yeah.
camera.
No problem.
You are stunning. And it does. It takes a little while to build that confidence to get on camera, but you are stunning. Thank you for coming and watching us.
Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely. Carlos, are you there with us? Carlos is we've known each other for a long, long time. I don't know if he's still with us. Carlos, are you there? Carlito, hello. Okay, so maybe he stepped away, but Carlos and I know each other for over a decade. He's actually in New York as well. And unfortunately, his grandmother passed away yesterday. Actually, this is, yeah. So it's been a little bit of a whirlwind on his end. So yeah, we wish her love and light. Yeah. So
My
Yeah.
favorite thing to say is sometimes our family can help us more on the other side, and life never really ends. It's just always a new beginning. So just knowing that that person's always watching over you, and they just get to have their hands on a little more stuff than we get to see.
Yeah, they're a little more available.
Yes.
Cross over for sure.
I did a lot of
Definitely.
hospice caregiving before I was just recently diagnosed with MS. So I've been dealing with that for the last year, but I was doing a lot of hospice caregiving. So I've seen so many beautiful things. Being able to help people through that grieving process, and just it is comforting to know, and I find it extremely comforting that they're right there. I sit there and communicate with my husband's dad all the time, and he always likes to sit over and like by the door like a guard. But his dad passed away a few years ago from cancer, so I knew it instantly, and he's always around. So he kind of minds his own business sometimes, but my husband, he can tell. He's like, my dad's here, isn't he? Don't you know? He knows everything you're thinking now. Can't keep those thoughts to yourself. So
No.
you just get to see a lot more. They get to see that bigger picture. And it literally, it's like opening your eyes. It's like that. If you've ever watched Wizard of Oz, when it goes from black and white and she's walking into color, it's kind of like that, I think, for spirit too, because they get to see so much more. And so sometimes, as hard as it is for our human mind to and we should breathe and miss them, but also remember that celebrate them, because they're seeing such a huge thing, and they get to help you in more ways than you can ever imagine, because then they become a guide to you in a way, and it's easier for them to connect because they were just at your frequency, where some of the frequencies in which I channel, they're extremely high frequency. So a lot of our star family or archangels or Christ consciousness, that's a very high frequency. And so when we have our families or close friends who just, are reborn, they're still somewhat close to the frequency of our human body. So it's easier for them to connect and easier for them to come in and guide us. So it's a beautiful thing too, if you look at it that way. I don't know. I'm
Definitely. And as you were saying that, Rebecca, I got the light language, like the message. So that was like really interesting as you were saying that. So if we can close our eyes, and this will be the first time I'm doing this, like so high up in this. It's just gonna be so interesting, really, really interesting. So close our eyes, take a nice deep breath in, and a nice deep breath out, and a nice deep breath in, and a nice deep breath out. Nice deep breath in, and a nice deep breath out. And just one more nice deep breath in and hold, and a nice deep breath out. And just picture, as we're speaking, a beautiful glowing blue light in front of you. And we are going to channel. And this is coming from the Pleiades sector, sector 50503050307891015000675. Kita shama sili umi, kinokura kasyamati sumulekame. Kita shasiri kula, kita shasili hina como siti noko. Kita shasili akamente shini simiti nomati ke. Tishamisi no komatia sumulekya damota sinat kinisanamati. Krishna sila mi the one thing gana masene kamone Krishna sila montaka Krishna sila mi dia kumane sina te Krishna masila kamate shat sile mate lang ne kwan suma kinal suma sine Krishna masila kamate shati sila kamatala Krishna sili Krishna sikila mate Krishna sikya mate la kasi manile kana kina sila mi da sine mate sila kamone kasi Krishna sila mate kamone sina mi kumata mate Krishna sila mate kawasiana tinisi. Krishna sila kinamate samangnasi. Krishna sila ka. Krishna sila mate kanmanisiano kanmanisila kamode. Krishna sila kiamate samana Krishna mate kanamasiana kesila ka. Krishna sila kamade sikida umade sana sikina mata simi kina sila kama. Krishna sila nana. Krishna sila kiana karuna ikanuna. Ikaruna Krishna sila ikaruna. Take a nice deep breath in and just let's hum together. Oh. Krishna sili mani tashrama siti kinana. Krishna sila kumata siti ipi. Krishna sila mata sila namaste ke salami ke salakete. Krishna sila mata kinana masya. Masya silne mani. Krishna simana kati. Kia karuna samane. Ilaka se karmata. Krishna te karuna kinamase da kasila mata lesya ni kinimandi kinasanya namana. Krishna sila mata kilasya namite se kaya. Kidasha Silamate Seki, Kidasha Silamate Kanamoshana Sinama, Kidasha Silama Kidasialamata Sela, Kidasha Silamateke, Kidasha Silamate Sinamoni Kidashala Katamisinata Matisina Commodena Sinamate Sala, Kidasha Silamate La Commodea Montesela, Kidasha Silamate Kidasiamateke, Kidasha Silamata Sumana Calamate Salakamate, Kidasha Sileko Denatama, Kidasha Sileka, Kidasha Silakamate Silekida. Gracias to the Matela. Gracias to the Kalasiana. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And again, deep breath in and a deep breath out. And one more time, deep breath in and a deep breath out. And a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Okay, and take a nice deep breath in one more time and a deep breath out. Okay, and so what I saw while that was being channeled was there was a lot of blue light, and it was coming from the lakes and the rivers and the oceans, and it was pretty much emanating through the different portals on Earth. I didn't know there was that many portals in so many places. And it was so beautiful because you could see this translucent green energy that I've never actually seen that could be expressed into human color that we could see as humans. So that was just very interesting. That was the first time ever. What did you see, Rebecca?
Yes, and I've recently just started seeing these colors, and it's more in the mind. It'll start off with I want to say in the last 2 weeks prior to this portal opening. So we all perceive color. Each individual person perceives a color, maybe a shade off or a shade up. There are species and animals which actually have, I think, 12 spectrums of color. I think we don't see that many, maybe like 4 or 5. But so when I've been meditating or when I do light language, I see it in my mind, and it's a stunning colors. It's almost like, because it's hard to explain because obviously humanity hasn't seen these colors yet, but they each carry like this unique frequency. It's kind of like, so when I first started connecting or channeling, at first I would get this ringing. It's almost like taking Poseidon's staff thing, the metal tuner stick, and someone's dinging it. Okay, and it's a high pitch frequency in my head. I still sometimes get that if I'm trying at the spirits or anyone really trying to connect to my energy. And if I'm busy rushing around doing my human stuff, the more I ignore it, the louder this ringing will get. So it's kind of just like I call it my spiritual voicemail. Leave a message at the beep. And literally it's just my indicator that spirit's trying to connect with me. And so that's basically how I started opening up to my channeling, and it would get louder and louder. And then I started actually physically hearing spirit, or I'll physically get the light language. But it's just been in the last 2 weeks that I've been seeing these new spectrums of color. So I don't know if these are the new frequencies in which we're making for the new earth. Because like we were talking about earlier, it's like bringing a blend. We're blending in both sides of that coin we were talking about earlier. So we're blending in the divine masculine and the feminine. So it's not going to be like masculine up here, women down here, or like it was way back at the beginning where women were kind of more up here and considered goddesses, or Atlantis. There was a lot, because we birthed things into being, a lot of that was going on too. So now we're kind of coming into that perfect. And so it's really blending. And because we're doing this, it's opening up even more doors to possibilities. And it's also bringing in more colors and different frequencies, or frequencies in which we've not seen in a very long time. So I think this is just something that's newer that's coming in, but it is beautiful to see those colors, isn't it?
It's amazing, actually, Rebecca. I think it's also because we're using the Lemurian sea crystals. I started to definitely pick up on that
Lemurians
as
were
something.
super into the dolphin frequencies, and dolphins in Lemuria. So Lemurian, they were telepathic. They came here to help build Earth when Earth was first born. They were just literally here to oversee the construction of Earth. And then, as you know, Lemurians are the ancestors of Atlantis. And they were very, very connected to Earth, very. And so the dolphin frequency, dolphins, they can go through any portals. So when Lemurians come through, or a lot of our star families come through, they're showing us these techniques again, and how we can use these frequencies to literally jump through these portals to learn and expand and raise our own frequencies. And the more we raise our own frequencies, the more we clear, the more our light shines. And so it's fantastic.
It's beautiful. It definitely is so beautiful. And as you're saying that, we're joined by, I call it the Sun Goddess Corporation. That's what Hi, Jennifer. Welcome. How you doing? We've been waiting for you.
Hello, beloved. Wow, where are you? You are in a windy, are you outside?
Yes, actually broadcasting from the highest sky deck in the Western Hemisphere in New York City. Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Oh.
And we have Rebecca Jeffcoat. She's amazing. She's the Rainbow Crystal Child. She's amazing. She was just channeling Divine Sophia. We were doing light language as we were waiting for you. And we have April. April is joining us from Vancouver Island. We had Carlos joining us from New York. We had other people joining us from all over the world in Guatemala. So it's such a pleasure and an honor to have you with us. Jennifer Ashira is a mentor of mine. I mean, I've been following her for quite some time. I joined her many of her ceremonies. Today, she had a beautiful Lionsgate ceremony earlier that she was broadcasting. And I'm going to be joining her retreat in Crete online. Unfortunately, can't be there physically this time, but I will be in the future. And she literally got up at 5 a.m. this morning, where she's at, to be able to do a beautiful global prayer and invocation for us. So Jennifer, thank you so much. Me and Rebecca, April, and everybody that was with us is so blessed. And we will be broadcasting this everywhere on YouTube as well. So everybody will get to see that afterwards. Yes.
So beautiful. And I just send you so much love. And can everyone hear me?
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and mute mine while you do yours there. That way there's no interruption.
Thank you, sister, for your information. I loved it. So I just bring in the golden ankh. Let's invite you to tune in. And I thank you so much, Mariana, and your beautiful words. And yes, we are gathering in Lesvos, Greece. It's the center, the golden throne epicenter. If Mount Olympus was the Olympian epicenter, this is the golden epicenter of the Sun Tribe. And the Sun Tribe are my family. And what I've been shown is, as you move higher in spirit, and they give you bigger jobs. And one of the biggest jobs is creating a universe. And so our galaxy that we are in, with the sun and Mars and Jupiter and Saturn and Earth, Gaia, is a galaxy of union. And so it's a constant moving towards union or away from union in all the millions of years. And we are coming back into union. And so those beautiful golden beings created this with dispensation from source. And so this is the galaxy that we are in. And we have all been called back to rebirth the new golden age. And so just remember, as you tune in, I'm sitting in the beautiful island of Crete, Greece, which is the Minoan culture of the divine goddess, the divine high priestess. She was the highest level in the civilization. The king and queen were not as high as the high priestess. The throne of Gnosis Palace is where the high priestess sat. And like they have, it's just that they have frescoes, and the princes, and the princes didn't have swords, they had lilies. So they had the Egyptian, the blue lotus they would hold. It was just a beautiful matrilineal, very balanced society. And so I'm coming to you from that land on this beautiful 8-8 Lions Gate where we opened up. I'm here to open up the golden pyramids and the new temples. I stood as the high priestess, I can share with you, of Knossos. I also opened up Festos, the other palace that is the second largest here. And so I am remembering that now. I only remembered that by standing in Festos a week ago. When I came here, they didn't show me everything. I don't know if you get that. When sometimes they don't show you everything right away. You get it later. And then they gave me gifts. I found pieces of pottery on the ground with painting on it. I have been wanting that in Egypt and Turkey and everywhere I've been walking. And I just see chips of pottery at all the sites, like nothing. I have like 7 pieces from Knossos and Phaistos of pottery with painting on it. And then on the Sun Mountain Pyramid, as I was walking down, it was a pretty difficult hike. As I was walking down, crystals started to show up, these beautiful honey-colored crystals. And like after I did the transmission, I get my gifts. Just like you have to do it first, light workers. You have to, that blind intuition, they're like, climb that mountain. I'm like, okay, I get up 7 in the morning and go climb that mountain. And I did, and I got scratched. I have just like flip-flops. I don't have hiking shoes. And just getting a ringing in my ear. So I hiked up. I get scratched up. There's pricker bushes everywhere. No trails. You just kind of, the trails in Greece, I've noticed, are very, it's a very loose term, trail. So I left a little DNA on the mountain from the scratches. But that's part of it, isn't it? It might be a little bit, this last 30, 40 days has been very difficult for me. It's been very much a roller coaster. And so I feel we're purging, we're purifying, we're opening as we move into this Lions Gate. And as we are in Isis Temple on the 555 portal, May 5th, and we opened up the new humankind of light. It is not DNA any longer going forward. It is pillars of light that nothing ends in you. It's a pass through. So you have pillars of light. We actually saw them in photos after we had 20 of us. And there were sisters that had, mine was like out in my field coming in. Some sisters was on their shoulder. They were literal barcodes. So I invite you to, as we're opening up the new humankind of light on this Lions Gate, we amplify it. And why I'm here and why I'm up at 5 in the morning is because the more we can amplify it and we can come together in this Aquarian energy, it's not about downloading on your own anymore, walking the Piscean path of solitude and sitting in prayer and downloading by yourself. It is coming together as a yes to community, to coming together, because when they see we can come together, we get the bigger codes. And then they see, oh, they can get together, the leaders, the way showers, and the initiators. Okay, so then the larger doors can open and the crystalline wisdoms, and you start to remember. So as I stood, and the temple at the Phaistos temple at the complex wasn't open. So I had to get creative to be able to stand at the temple of Rhea in Phaistos. And as I stood there, I had my ankh, and I have this Isis bracelet, and I just had my little, shorts I was wearing, and it's like 110 here. It's really hot. And as I stood there, I remembered standing there before. And so the chain links of going to the different temples on Crete and why I'm here, and I had a little etheric treasure chest of gifts that were held in Lesvos. In Lesvos, they showed me the sun symbol is a circle with a dot in the middle. They showed me Lesvos is that center, and it is slowly starting to open again. It is safe now. It's a semicircle of 16 golden pyramids. I've never seen so much in one place. I mean, Egypt is amazing, Peru is amazing, but Lesvos is off the charts. And it is it's so secret, like, and sacred, that it couldn't be connected to all the ley lines. And so I invite you to tune in as we are with your beautiful energy of the queens and the high priestesses and the leaders that are here, is to tune into this beautiful energy of Lesbos, Greece, this throne of the Golden Sun tribe. The new Sun Queen was initiated on solstice of this year, taking her place. And the Sun King they both have their own partners, because the Sun King is really in a military, beautiful holding of the light right now with his partner and his team. And then the Queen has now accepted and come on. And so the sun and the golden codes has always been the source. The moon is the reflection. It's never been about the moon. We only had the moon when we were in hiding and we had to go within and we couldn't be as visible. But I invite you to remember when we always did ceremony at high noon, we always did ceremony in the daylight. We stood in the light. We were honored. We were revered. We were loved. We were in balance. We are the holders of the codes. We don't look out over anyone. We are just in union. And so I invite you to remember that energy. And as Lesbos, then I connect to the power center of Crete, which is all granite, pure granite. It is these huge mountains of granite. And then I will be going to Cyprus, which is the birthplace of Aphrodite. And then I make that triangle and I go back to Lesbos to ground it and then to have our retreat in September. And so I invite you to open your heart as we connect as one with a breath in. And a breath out, just to ground. As you are so needed to open these temples, open these pyramids, envisioning colors. As I call in Osiris, I call in Isis. And I loved what Rebecca was sharing about Lemuria. Lemuria is the beginning. They were beings of light. They were no female, male. There was, to procreate, they didn't have to move into like how we move into like sexual procreation. It was light conception. Light conception is returning. And then they seeded Atlantis, and then Atlantis got infiltrated and interfered with, and then Atlantis exploded at 12,000 BC. 10,000 BC. It was 12,000 years ago. And that's why you see in a lot of the temples around the world, like strewn granite and huge blocks, just like in Ollantaytambo in Peru, they're just thrown down the mountain because they had the singularity balls. And the singularity balls were what they created all of Egypt out of. Everything that has the perfect seamless borders and the just perfect symmetry and everything, the Great Pyramid, it was built out of, they melted the plasma. They didn't drag it with ropes or, all the things they tell you about. It was done through, and you had to, they show the sun disk on all the walls in Egypt, and that is the singularity ball. And you had to be a high master to be able to, out of your third eye, you would create through the singularity. And so then they would have them all, like the niches in Peru. Those were all singularity balls, like we use candles now. But that's all coming back in the teleportation chambers. When you see niches in the wall cut, but they go nowhere, those are the niches for the teleportation chambers, and that's all coming back. I'm not sure right now how soon the teleportation will take to come back. But so this is all coming back, and we are all remembering. And as you stand in these sacred containers of this beautiful connection right now, our prayer of golden light, of the golden codes, as Osiris and Isis stand with you. Isis wrapping her wings around you. She's smiling. She's so happy that we're all here, and she wants to give a blessing. Beloveds, I come to you with my beautiful wings of light. She's sharing. You are such a special key code, and that you have agreed to say yes and join in the sacred connection today on this portal of opening of abundance and destiny creation and new timelines. I'm getting chills, so this is a yes. She is inviting you and she is blessing you with a higher timeline And so if you are open to this, and if you are a yes, I see a doorway opening in front of you. And if you are a yes to your highest timeline and your highest royal codes, that is what today is. It's the royal codes activation. I invite you to step through. And what do you see and what do you feel? Step through this beautiful doorway, because you are so needed to be more visible, possibly, to be more in your authentic destiny, to remember your royal heritage, the thrones you sat on, the planets that you guided, the civilizations that you led, in balance and harmony and union, that you are leaders of the new age, and that you are so important, and that you are being gifted this new higher timeline, new riches to come to you, if that is what you would like, more ease and grace. We had to go through an underworld to move into this high time that started opening about 48 hours ago. A lot I saw in my own human life, speaking as me now, started to shift and open about 2 days ago. It was a lot of like, wow, should I do this? I don't see much happening. Yes, no, it's hard to hold the light. But the Leo energy of this new moon and this at 16 degrees, which is a 7, which is the bringing of heaven to earth, the 7 numerology, is about standing and sticking to your conviction, sticking to your vision. And so this doorway is not given lightly. This new timelines were only if you said yes, only if you're listening to this, if you cut off an hour ago because, oh, I have something else to do, then that was your choice. But maybe you'll re-listen. Maybe you'll get the inkling to re-listen. Replays, you always hear different things. And so I invite you to open your heart, open your pineal, as she's now going to join your pineal, as Osiris is now standing in front of you with his finger on your third eye. A starburst is opening amongst your pineal. Your pineal is now moving into more of a doorway, not a gland anymore. Opening up into pituitary, creating a triangle. Oh, wow, this is different then. This is new. A pyramid between your, creating a portal. This is a really special group. Wow. Osiris is smiling. He's like, yes, of course. He's like beaming as like proud father. Isis is wrapping her wings around you. Feel the golden crystalline light, the multidimensional field that you are, opening and opening as this pyramid is like pyramid of the central suns. Just your head is now like just a gateway of cosmic portal beauty. It's like a galaxy inside of that pyramid. It's a gateway. So it's the unlimitedness of what you want. What do you want? What are you putting into this container of 8-8 today? What are you stepping forward into? What are you a yes to? As you continue your yeses from this day forward, this will open and open as this new light integrates within you within the next 24 to 48 hours. Integrations and initiations and activations are a nanosecond now. Like it's already done. It's so fast now. It doesn't take a workshop or a 7-day, healing. You can ask for just the healing in it, and it will open in a nanosecond. And then we grid and we gather to grid on the earth and to grid in the ley lines, and that does take a little time still. It happens very fast, but we go and we will, like in Lesvos, we're going to be going to the Aphrodite temple. We're going to Apollo temple. We're going to the pyramid and the throne and the sun temple of Ra. And when we stand there, you get new codes as you stand and you make the effort to go. And so I invite you to travel and join us in Lesvos. It is completely open in Greece. There's no vaccination, no quarantine. We gather, we dine together, we walk together, no masks. So don't believe what you're hearing. Don't let the outside world affect you. I've been gathering people this entire quote unquote pandemic, which isn't a pandemic. It's just the flu being renamed to keep you in fear and keep humanity in fear. And so as you're a leader and you know the difference, I invite you to step into your light. and to join with your community and join in however that looks, you're locally or travel with us or join us online. Our event is online and in person. And the reason I'm mentioning it is because you are so needed. We need the high priestesses to re-amplify the new grid lines and the new temples. And I feel you are with us and you are a very special group. And so Osiris is still working on you, has his finger on your pyramid, on your third eye, which is now a beautiful gateway pyramid. Isis is standing there. I see Sekhmet with her beautiful white Sirius lionesses circling you, gridding it. I see a golden dust around you. I see a lot of golden dust. It's almost like a little bit of a tornado effect that helps clean and purify and heal and activate at the same time. There's no delay anymore. And I also want to share with you the Phaistos disc. Was found in Phaistos, and this is what the Minoans used as a hymn. And so one side is to the goddess mother, and one side is to Astarte. And the myth about Astarte is that she traveled to Cyprus and then became Aphrodite Venus. And so this was found at the Phaistos temple, and this is found in other temples on Crete and in other Minoan palaces and temples. And this was what they used, and it's circular. They would sing the hymn in the circular labyrinth. And it's just so beautiful to find these ways that the goddess was, and the divine feminine and the creatrix of all. Oh, I love that crystal. It's Lemurian, it looks like. Wow. And as we're on this beautiful portal, starts at the 555. We were in Isis temples, the base. The top is the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul. Crete is west and Cyprus is east. And it is the new creation code that's been off the planet for 5,000 years. And it is two pyramids that create a diamond that is a yoni portal. It is all the energy that creates every sacred site, every creation, every opening. And so we're in that right now. And I just invite you to use your beautiful energy to further activate the Sun Pyramid Mountain, which is one of the major vortexes of the western point of that diamond portal on Earth for all beings. And just see that beautiful golden pyramid linking to all the other pyramids and all the other ley lines, activating the golden codes of the goddess, the golden codes of creation, the golden codes of your royal codes. All as one, no separation. And with the breath, we make it so. And I've just gotten tingles this whole time, and I thank Isis and Osiris. And so all of this is a yes, and you are such high beings as our beloveds who join us in replay, who their souls are actually with us because there is no linear timeline. And so I thank you for your time and your energy and your 888. I say it triple. I've done that for a week now. 888. It's 88, but I think it's 8 o'clock somewhere, right? And so I just send you so much love and so much connection. And join us and be with us etherically, energetically, or physically. And you can find me at lightpriestesstemple.com. And if you are called to join us, I invite you. I call you to, it takes a little bit of we'll have to dig a little deeper to travel. It's a little bit of an obstacle course. But if you join us online or in person, it's perfect. And just send us love. And just sending you so much love, and thank you for your time and your energy and your gifts you are giving to the world and your higher timeline. And I'd love to hear from you and anything that came through or Mariana can share with me. I love hearing, because I only see my side. And so your side and what you receive is completely different and unique, and your key code. And I love hearing and I love sharing. Much love to you, and thank you.
Much love to you too, Jennifer. Thank you so much. It was such an honor. Thank you. And it was definitely an activation tonight, for sure.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. That makes sense. Actually, I just bought a little knife that has Isis on it. So it's just, I don't believe in coincidences. Okay. Then I have this little quartz crystal that actually has those little symbols in it.
What are the
It's weird.
symbols in there?
It's like
I see
almost like a
pyramid.
light. backwards.
That is a gorgeous crystal. Wow.
And it's like on the inside, but I see little
Oh.
triangles.
Uh-huh.
But when you
Wow.
were showing that disc, it just reminded me of that. I was like, hey, that kind of looks like the same writing in there. I see an arrow. I see the triangle.
Yeah. Because the
That's cool.
Phaistos disc is not any language. It's its own thing. And so I believe it's light language channeled from,
I
millions
wonder
of
if
years
that
ago.
could be light language.
Yeah. The crystals are
Yeah.
light. It's
A universal language.
yeah.
You ladies, look, same thing with me. The Lumerian sea crystal actually fell on the floor while you were channeling and
Ah!
actually broke. So I'm able to now put my finger on it. And when we were activating, it was almost like a pen. It's almost like we were making it so. And then in the middle of the sky deck, I don't know, but I mean, I can't say it wasn't a gift from the gods. I find a blue lotus flower right next to me. So I mean, if
What?
you want, look. You see it?
Okay, that's amazing. In the middle of New York City. Mariana, you're just like, wow, you're just a
Yeah.
portal.
That's how spirit drops the mic.
I
Yeah.
think I teleported that.
Yeah, that's a mic drop.
That's a mic drop. I'm taking that home. I am taking that little lady home.
I think so. Well, you always get the gift after, right? So after, you never get it before. I've noticed they wait to see that you show up.
Yes.
Showing up is
Yes.
99% of it.
I was explaining that to my husband too. He's like, well, sometimes I just want to see a sign. I said, well, you got to do the work.
Mhm.
You have to put in the work. You're not just going to sit on your stump and say, I mean, these are very intelligent gods, and you can't just go and tell them that you want something. You need to show them that you can actually put in the effort and the work, and that it's worth the reward.
Mhm.
And you have to see the small blessings too lead to bigger ones.
Mhm. They do.
Gratitude.
And as you say yes, and as you show
I was
up,
showing you ladies.
you get more.
Uh,
Ooh.
I was showing everybody, yeah, because the fog finally cleared. So I wanted you guys to see where we were. This is where we
Amazing.
were. We're in the middle of between two rivers, two major rivers,
Mhm.
the East River and the Hudson. And this is on top of the highest deck in the entire Western
It's
Hemisphere.
that little pyramid thing again.
That's
You
amazing.
see, look, yeah, that's right. Look at that pyramid right there. I didn't even notice that. That's right. Look at
That's amazing.
And
I love
while
New
we
York
were
City. I started my fashion career. I went to FIT and I worked on 7th
Wow.
Avenue. So I have
wow.
I lived in Chelsea and a loft
Wow.
and the West Village and
Oh, we
yeah.
were talking about doing little crystal clothes earlier. Sewing
Oh,
little
yeah.
crystals into this stuff. I said that would be a good clothing design, because when I do my meditations and sometimes when I connect to like the oversouls of like the Lamarians and stuff, they always seem to be in dress, and they'll
Mhm.
have the crystals, and I can literally hear them like wind chimes as they're walking to their sacred
Ooh.
temples, and they're helping you
Wow.
do the attunements, like for the Lamarian attunement or the oversoul activation for labradorite, or I don't know, they each have their own little consciousness, but I always see them with like their own little, like these little tiny,
Oh,
and
I
they kind of
love
cling
it.
together.
Mhm.
Actually, I have two that I can see.
They always show me what I see what they're wearing too sometimes because I love clothing. I'll
It's
always
like
love
they
fashion.
walk.
I love that. Wow, I can really see that, like that shimmering
Yeah,
whooshing of
and
the
and I always hear the guides as they're escorting you through the temple for the attunement or the clearing. They always usher you, and you can always, well, I don't know if everybody's that way, but I always smell like a frankincense or certain different scents, and I'm really attuned into my I guess the senses, and you can hear it, and they're just kind of like come to the temple. But yeah, then I have the the Lamarian key.
Mm,
I want to turn this into a necklace.
I love it. I love seeing your Lemurian crystals because I had to give mine to Bali, and so I only have one now. And I had a family, and Bali asks for crystals, and so all mine are there in within her now. So I love seeing yours.
Yeah, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 Lamarians. So I got the Scarlet Temple.
Oh, look at
Look,
that.
there's actually, you were talking about, there's a pyramid. It almost looks stamped into here. Let me see if I can get this lined up to
I
my,
have one that was a family like that, and I have a Sumatran one that looks like that. That's
so it literally looks like a pyramid in there,
it
like
does.
almost a door.
That's
but it
a
almost looks
doorway. No,
stamped.
do you see the doorway?
Yeah.
The
So I had a
rectangular
dream
doorway?
about this. I had a dream about this the day before I seen it at the crystal shop. In my
Oh,
dream.
right there, the doorway, right there.
Mhm.
And oh no, it's a pyramid, I think. It's a pyramid facing me.
Yeah,
The
it's like the
point
pyramid is going into the crystal. So the point would be in the crystal.
That's
And
what
then
I
at the
kind of
bottom
saw
is like the
inside of
sun.
your pineals.
Yeah,
I
It
saw
looked
that.
like a doorway behind the pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then, so there's little windows up here, smaller ones. But before I found this crystal at the spirit shop, I had a dream that I was like in spirit school and I was running in one door and guides were saying, hey, did you give your husband this message? And I was like, yeah, but he's not listening. And I'm like rushing to the other class thing. And then I open up this other door and I'm outside and like learning to move the leaves. And so I wake up and then I go to the shop to get some sage and stuff. And then I had seen this crystal and I looked at my husband and I said, I was dreaming about this. And literally, I think I was like running in that door and learning all this spiritual stuff. So that's how I ended up with the Scarlet Temple. Then I have the Brazilian Lemurian, which this I like because this has the diamond and almost looks like the morning star coming in the mountain.
That's what the portal looks like. The one I talked about in that on Earth that we are activating right now. It's like an elongated diamond.
So when I speak to my guides, they always tell me I'm the rainbow diamond child. And
Mm.
I've tried looking into this diamond child thing. A lot of people say that there's not a diamond child, but I think they're just extremely rare.
They are.
I think there's
They are,
crystalline
Rebecca.
children. They're
Yes.
because I've been trying to do my research into what spirits tell me. I found about the rainbow children or the crystalline children or the indigo children or the multidimensional starseed children, which I am a starseed as well. But that's not what they say. They're, no, you're a rainbow diamond.
Diamond.
And
Yes.
that's what they do. It's the top. So it's
And
I'm still learning. I'm still unpacking it all up there. So it's a process.
Rebecca, if you bring that crystal up, you'll actually see a pyramid inside the crystal.
Yeah.
That's what you were talking about, Jennifer.
I
If you
see
bring
it.
it up closer. Yeah,
The-
there is
Yeah.
literally, look at that beautiful pyramid inside
And then you
there.
can see the 8 at the top of the pyramid.
You can also
Mm.
see a rainbow.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see, and there's a rainbow inside the pyramid.
Yeah, then
That's
I get
right.
rainbows in here.
That's
Actually,
right.
you
And
guys, I have pictures of faces in this thing.
Neat.
Faces, like actual
Wow.
faces. I'll have
And-
to
and
share
if
them
you-
with
and
you
if you
guys
see-
because they are pretty neat.
And if you put it towards your eye, you see how it illuminates your eye. Like it makes your eye into like this galactic thing. It's like, it's incredibly interesting. It really,
It's almost like a diamond too. Something
it
with
really is,
the
yeah.
triangles here. And then I have my smoky Lemurian, which is funny you were talking about the pyramids because my smoky Lemurian has
Mm.
a bunch, almost like a line, straight line of pyramids in here.
Oh yeah, I see it.
And a
888,
rainbow.
by the
There's
way.
like this little rainbow guy in there. But you got the pyramid here, here, and here. So I think of like the pyramids in Egypt that are lined up.
Yeah. And you
Harder
know
to see on
something?
the camera.
Wow, that's interesting. And
And
to
then you
add
can
to
see the
that, by the
rainbow.
way, guys, to add to it, I feel like when we were channeling, I actually saw like a giant crystal inside the ocean bed, the floor. And it's actually coming up slowly now. And it was part of the Lumeria.
They
And
call
it's
it
actually coming
Sector
up more and more.
3.
Mm.
So from what they tell me, it's Sector 3. It's the deepest and darkest part of the world's ocean.
Uh-huh.
Something. That's basically what I got. for
But it
that.
feels like we're bringing up that literally that pyramid of light. We're bringing it up through the Earth's core. And that's how we're going to be able to do a lot of the teleportation and literally be able to bring in more and more of the 5D. And that's what
And
we're
it's-
doing. That's what Jennifer, that's what you're doing. You're activating. That's what we're doing together as the high priestesses of Isis. That was Isis's main job as she, you know, I see her many, many times as she welcomes in the sun in the morning. And she bids the sun, you know, like when she during the sunset. And that's why I call it the Sun Goddesses Corporation.
what I see when I see pyramids, I see that it's just half of what's there, and that's where you would get that diamond, because you see, if you go right into the center of that, you have the top part of the diamond, and then you'll have the lower part. So it's like when it raises up, we're going to see what's revealed underneath, almost kind of representing what's been hidden, or we're revealing the truth. That's basically what popped in my mind.
It's like an iceberg. You only see 1/3 of it above water and 2/3 of it are underwater. Yeah.
Mm.
Then I had a
Really?
meditation where I met some people in a cabin. They were the Knights Templar, and they were giving me the Ark of the Covenant. And then they told me to go to the pyramid, that the Sphinx pyramid. And then it was so weird because I was doing the Akashic Records cards, and I always get the Sphinx pyramid and the Ark of the Covenant. So it's weird. So maybe I'm supposed to travel there one day.
Mm.
Mm.
Chances are.
Yes.
Jennifer,
To be
thank you
continued.
so much. To be continued. I think we should do another show. Definitely.
Yes,
Maybe a
most
vibrational clothing
definitely.
project.
Yes. Call it the tribal
Mm.
women.
That's right.
Mm.
The Ark
was
of the
planning-
Covenant.
I was
Yes.
planning to go to Crete last year. Truly.
Oh,
I love it there. I've been there before. It's lovely. Yeah.
Mm.
But
I have a
I'm
visit too.
excited. I'm going to see Mariana very soon. I'm very excited. Okay, my friends. God bless you.
It was
Jennifer,
very
thank you
nice meeting
so
you. Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
God blessings. Namaste. Thank you. Happy Lionsgate, everybody. Thank you.
Yes.
Bye. Blessings.
Bye. Blessings, love and light.
Bye.